Hello, welcome back to the ministry, and this is Taj McCameron. So, alright, I gotta say it. This is a word that God gave me one night. I woke up rather irritated. It had to have been about a month ago because I had this irritation again a couple days ago. So, it usually happens just before my time of the month. I get irritated, but God woke me up and I was mad. Not that He woke me up, but so much about this. But sometimes, let's tell the truth and shame the devil. That sometimes when we be walking with God, we get frustrated in these cycles we be going through, especially with this kingdom marriage, because we can't move until they move, and we can't move until God moves. So we sitting in the midst of the confusion, like, God, I done did my part. Who's not moving here? Is it you? Is it him? Who ain't moving? What's going on? And you get in that frustrated state of, it's not that you want to give up on the kingdom marriage. No. That ain't it. It's that you get to that point where you be frustrated and it's like, God, don't talk to me about this if they ain't ready. I got stuff I could be working on. I ain't pressed over here about them. But don't shake me up if they aren't moving. But you see, let me tell you something that I learned. That sometimes God will shake you up because in the shaking up of you, it shakes them automatically because of the spiritual connection that you have with them. So He shake you up and you be mad and frustrated and irritated. And then He starts to shake them automatically. It's a spiritual connection. So the connection you have with you to them, He shakes you and them at the same time. And you be like, why did you shake? Go shake them. Why are you shaking me? I'm good over here. Why are you shaking me? Go shake them. If they're the problem. So, I had this revelation that night while I was frustrated and mad. And it took me a long time to sit down because I told you this was about a month ago I got this word, but I didn't want to release it because, well, you'll see why when I start to talk about it. So, your husband may have potentially been living in a candy land of assortment of candies that he could choose from. Let me put it to you this way. God gave me Candyland a while ago. Actually, about 2-3 months ago, He gave me Candyland. But your husband was in Candyland. But I was thinking about it in relation to some of y'all spouses are called to high level positions. Some of them. You know, if God showed you that your spouse had a high rank, you know. Some of you got community leader level husbands. Some of you got political leader level husbands. They might not be there yet, but their calling is there. This person might just be a contractor right now, but they're going to be assisting in the political arena that's going to move them. And next thing you know, they might be in the Senate someday going where. Just because of what they look like, what they are doing right now, does not mean that they ain't going to end up somewhere. Okay? Remember that. 2, some of them, they might end up, I'm talking about NBA. You're talking about people that they were in sports while they were in high school, college, all of these kinds of things. They had the ability to be drafted. Some of them are in careers where they are creatives. Where is this one guy I see on YouTube. I used to follow him regularly and I pray for him whenever I get a chance because Lord showed me that he's at the pinnacle. When I say the pinnacle of blowing up for real in the music industry. But he's got a series of people around him and I can tell he's under a level of bad warfare. In the church that he's a part of, they ain't got no Holy Spirit, Holy Ghost power in them whatsoever, because he's talked about it. He works for them as their music minister. And where he's going, he needs somebody that can, I pray all the time, because he's right near a church. I pray that he go. I pray whenever he crosses my mind, he go to that church. I pray he does. Okay? And this person is at the brink of entering a high power position. I'm just using him as an example. And no, this is not my God ordained spouse. My God ordained spouse is on a whole nother level. Okay. Now, he got people around. This particular person has people around him. If he don't get himself in the right position, I see him ending up Twitch too. Okay? Hear me with your spiritual ears. That's why I pray whenever he crosses my mind. Because this man, if he don't get himself right, Satan gonna take him down. He got way too much going on around him. And this is what Satan wants, okay? This is why these types of men need women that are praying for their kingdom callings. Because they'll end up in all kind of foolery otherwise. Next, some people are, I just told you the NBA, some of them are called to football, some of them are called to, but think about what I just said about that young man. These people are called to directions, but they're in the midst of an industry. Let me tell you something. When I was in New York, the place that I was staying at, that God would not let me leave until I left New York. This place, I saw good-hearted people come in the doors to that place. Security guards, social workers, people that were really trying to change this environment. When I tell you there would be authority figures that were put over them, that would oppress them, dominate and intimidate these individuals. There was one woman that came in with an entire plan to help structure that place, to help the people get into better positions, jobs and lifestyles, proper programming, things that would keep them and give them things to do when they were in the building, so on and so forth, how to help them, how to get them the right help that they needed. When I tell you, that person got demeaned, dragged, intimidated, and that woman left her job. She didn't stay there that long. This is a spirit that operated in that place. There was another man. He came in. He's like, I'm new. We're going to do all this. And it's that type of thing. Every person, and some of these people I came into contact specifically with, they came and like, I'm going to change things. Anything that you need, I got you. And it's like, let me tell you something. Tiffany Montgomery had James Solomon come in and do a cover by God where he did a word. It was the word for October, I think. Yeah, it was the last one she did when this is posted. In October, she did a word, and James Solomon said there's a spirit of bewitchment. A lot of these places, industries, corporate companies, there is a spirit that has been designated to cover that industry. Okay? Just like in the place that I was staying, there was a spirit over that industry. That it wasn't even an industry. It was that place, that system is the word. There was a spirit over that. People would come in, they would start to do the work, and it was like they would hit a spiritual brick wall, and the spirit that was in operation in that environment, it sat on there. I seen people go in with the best intentions in the world. Some of them got jobs, got 2 jobs, and were getting an apartment. I never seen nothing like it in my life. They would lose the job and lose the apartment, and it was like that's when the spirits would take over. That's when the spirits would take over. And somebody had the audacity to come to me one day and sit up there. I saw somebody like you come in here once, almost looked just like you. And when they came in here, they thought they had the best intentions in the world. Like it was gonna be good, and they were gonna be able to change things, and they were gonna be able to get out, and they never got out. Last time I saw them, they was crazy. I was like, not me. When I tell you, God put me in a church of restoration during that season, I prayed for those people, and I received a whole hell of a lot of warfare during that time I was there. But I prayed and covered a lot of people. People got out when I didn't during certain parts. I remember very specifically, there was a scenario where there was a woman, I hope she doing all right, but there was a woman, she had been praying and begging to get out of that place. They just kept running her around in circles. I went to my church of restoration. They had 7 weeks of prayer that they had us going through an open door. I happened to find a key the first week, and I kept putting it on the altar and taking it through the door that 7-week period. When I got back, I gave the key to her. She had an interesting experience. After I gave her the key, her locker door kept opening up and swinging open, kept swinging open, kept swinging open. She got an apartment, and she was fought like hell to get out of there. And when she got out, she was attacked spiritually, ridiculously, but she got out. She got out. There are certain principalities, powers, and dark forces. I wasn't even going to tell y'all that story, but it came to me last night, and I guess I just was supposed to speak it. That are in these places. Understand that they're in these industries. Because if it was in that place that I was staying in, it's in the industries. Certain systems, certain industrial systems have principalities that don't want you to get out of the way it operates. And I know, Hollywood is one of the number one. There's a principality over that one. I can name it. I really could. It's just God's not telling me to tell y'all what it is right now. Because I already know the calling that I have on my life. But when I tell you the reason that y'all be praying for these husbands is because where they're called to either go or where they are and where God's calling you to be, because you're supposed to stand next to them. Okay. But because of this, once you figured out, if you saw my word where I did a 4-part series where I talked about if you know who your spouse is, the warfare you're going to go through. There's something at the top of my screen I had to move, so it blocked my face momentarily. We're just going to live with it. But because of that, these men have been seduced by seducing spirits, okay? Destructive women and people that were operating in the wrong heart posture. Going back to what I was saying in the previous video, I talked about Samson. I talked about Samson and I talked about Jacob. Remember how Rebecca didn't want Jacob to go into the world and get hooked up with the loose women? Then remember how Samson, his father told him that he was not to get involved with those people, but he was looking at a particular woman. He said, Daddy, go get her for me. Remember? These men got caught up. And what ended up happening is, and this is the analogy God showed me, don't take this incorrectly, but I was mad that day.